This blueprint is precise, structured, and legally binding. As it unfolds, think of the IEP as the architectural framework for your child's entire educational growth. But the actual experience of an IEP meeting is often chaotic. You sit down, a 30-page document is pushed toward you, and the team expects a signature after only a few minutes of review. This creates a massive problem for parents. It is difficult to distinguish between a plan customized for success and a generic document the district copied and pasted just to stay in legal compliance. Vague language creates a major liability. Without clear metrics, you have no legal way to prove if your child is actually learning or simply stagnating while the months slip away. To understand if a plan works, we have to look at this flowchart. Every effective IEP follows this sequence. The present levels, or PLAFP, dictate the goals. Those goals determine the services, and progress monitoring tracks if the services are working. If that first block, the present levels, lacks specific data, the entire structure fails. Vague baselines lead to useless goals and services that can't be measured, leaving the whole plan structurally compromised. We are going to audit the anatomy of a working IEP, section by section, so you know exactly what objective data to demand before you ever sign your name. Challenging the school's language creates friction at the table, but that upfront scrutiny is the only way to prevent your child from being stuck with a generic plan that doesn't actually produce results. The PLAAP is the foundation of the document. It requires an objective baseline of where your child is right now, not just a list of their struggles. This matrix shows where plans fail. The left generic trap uses subjective descriptions like struggles with reading, leaving no starting line. Now the right side, the data-driven standard, requires specific assessment scores and percentiles. This detail forces the creation of laser-targeted goals. Moving to annual goals, measurability is strict. This matrix shows the impact. Effort-based goals without numbers mean zero accountability, but a strictly measurable goal forces the district to provide bi-weekly or monthly tracking reports. Demanding this data means you and the school have to look at the harsh academic reality. It replaces comfortable, vague assurances with difficult facts, but facts are the only way to drive progress. Without mathematical data in the PLAFP and the goals, a parent has no mechanism to prove the school's interventions are working. You're left guessing if your child is actually moving forward. Next, we define the rules of engagement. Accommodations change how a student learns, like using a graphic organizer or having a test read aloud. The content and the grade level standards stay exactly the same. Modifications go much further. They change what the student learns by lowering the difficulty or altering the curriculum standards. There is a heavy trade-off here. Modifications might lower a student's immediate stress, but they can directly disqualify a student from earning a regular high school diploma. Watch out for the phrase, reducing the number of test items. You must ask the team for clarity. Are they cutting the most difficult concepts, which is a modification, or just reducing the volume of repetitive work? This timeline reveals a common trap in state testing. Accommodations needed for a third-grade state test generally must be established and used in the classroom during the second-grade year to be permitted on the final exam. When looking at related services, like speech or occupational therapy, don't just accept a once-a-week schedule. When a school closes for a snow day or a holiday, that session usually disappears forever. Instead, request services be written as a specific number of sessions per marking period. This ensures the district provides the full amount of legally required therapy hours, regardless of how the calendar shifts. These small changes in how expectations and schedules are written have a massive compounding impact on your child's legal rights and their path toward graduation. If a student's behavior gets in the way of their learning, the IEP team must create a behavioral intervention plan, or BIP. Many behavior plans fail because they are designed for the school's convenience. They focus on punishing an annoying behavior just to get compliance in the classroom. An effective plan uses data to find the root cause. If a student acts out to escape a difficult reading task, the plan should address that reading deficit, not just manage the outburst. This same focus on the individual is required for high school transition planning, which maps out life after graduation, including employment and independent living. Districts often suggest transition goals based on the programs they already have available. This makes the school's logistics easier, but it rarely serves the student's actual future. Transition goals must be based on the student's specific interests and their individual needs for independence. It should be a plan for their life, not a list of available district seats. Behavior and transition sections fail the moment they prioritize district logistics over uncovering and supporting what your child actually needs. The reality of the IEP process, the burden of quality control falls entirely on you. The system does not audit itself. A meeting that feels easy and agreeable often results in a weak document. Rigorous, data-driven pushback is the only way to secure a plan that protects your child. Use this mid-year audit scorecard to check your current plan. You need clear data in the present levels, measurable targets in the goals, verified accommodations, and access to the raw progress data. If you are just starting out, focus exclusively on the PLAAP. If the school cannot provide hard numbers for your child's current academic baseline, do not sign the document. For parents of older students, you must watch the boundary between accommodations and modifications. Your priority is protecting the student's eligibility for a regular diploma. If you are seeing no progress, audit the tracking data. Demand the raw mathematical scores and reject any progress report that uses vague summaries like making adequate progress. When raw data shows your child stagnating, you don't have to wait for the annual meeting. Call a review immediately to fix the plan before more time is lost. The strength of an IEP rests entirely on the specific, measurable data enforcing it. Precise numbers transform a standard school form into a legally binding mandate for your child's success.